Hi everyone, my name is Joe Mitchell and I'm a state representative here in Iowa in my first term in the Iowa legislature. And November 3rd, I'll be running for my second term. God willing, I'll be voted in again. And I'm also president and founder of Run Gen Z, which we're here to discuss today. And I've recently launched Run Gen Z with 4 other co-founders across the nation, other state representatives. And we're excited about what we're doing. We're excited about the vision. We're excited about the mission of Run Gen Z to recruit, assist, and encourage other young people to run for office. Run Gen Z, in a nutshell, is an organization and a purpose to help recruit, encourage, and assist Generation Z conservatives to run for public office. Sure. So, the concept or the idea of Run Gen Z really started 2019, my first term in the legislature, when I was going around to different legislative conferences in the summer of 2019. And I quickly learned that there's very few state legislators across the nation that are Generation Z, that are under 25, that are my age. And so what I wanted to do was start a networking group to connect Generation Z conservative legislators together to form relationships, to build relationships early on in their careers. Well, I quickly learned though, there's not enough people in the state legislatures across the country that are my age, that are conservative, to even be able to form a group like that. There's so few of us. And so the idea of starting a networking group really shifted to starting an organization that actively recruits, assists, and encourages Generation Z conservatives to run for office. So the ball really started rolling when I went to the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit in West Palm Beach, Florida in December of 2019. And I met a young man named Elliot Engen. And Elliot's from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And I met Elliot there and I started talking to him about his future aspirations in life. And he said after undergrad, then he wanted to go to law school. And I asked him if he was ever interested in running for public office. And he said, well, someday after I become, a prosecutor and get a family, maybe, 20, 30 years from now. And I said, well, why don't you want to run now? And he said, well, I'm too young. So I explained to him that I'm a state representative in Iowa and I got elected at the age of 21 while I was still attending college. And he was pretty blown back by that. Anybody would, talking to me, I'm just, an average Joe, no pun intended. But after talking to Elliot and discussing with him, I really, started making him think about potentially running for the state representative spot in his district. And so that's what he did. He went back home and he figured out, what the things he needed to do to get on the ballot were, what the nomination process was like. And along the way, I was able to help him. And I was able to mentor him and give him tips on, how to reach out to, grassroots activists, how to fundraise, how to talk to different delegates, and ultimately how to win the Republican nomination, which he did. And now he's the Republican nominee in his district for 30B in Minnesota. And so after forming that friendship and that mentorship with Elliot, I realized I wanted to do this on a bigger scale. I wanted to create Run Gen Z formally and get other state representatives across the nation involved in mentoring the conservative youth of America to rise up, run for office, and make a change. So I see Run Gen Z really doing a lot of big things. I think what we're seeing right now is a lot of people in Generation Z that are voting very liberal, voting for pretty much strictly Democrats, probably 90-10, honestly. And that doesn't change unless you get people elected to office on the conservative side that are relatable to young people. Because I think right now a lot of young people look at the politicians that are in office, particularly on the conservative side, which they don't necessarily relate with, and they think, well, why would I vote for that guy? He's 50 years older than me, right? Or that woman, she's 50 years older than me. And so really what I truly believe is that we need young people elected to office on the conservative side of the aisle to be able to make headway and to really attract some of the youth vote back to us to make sure that we can have a say in this country and what policies we're going to put in place. And so I think that's the most important part about Run Gen Z. But this is about conservative leaders and be able to mentor the next generation of conservative leaders in this country, but ultimately to be able to be relatable to the youth vote and say, hey, we empathize with what you're saying, but there's a better path for this. And so I see Run Gen Z mentoring, assisting, and helping out thousands of Generation Z conservatives across the country run for office in the next few years. So Run Gen Z, the mechanics of it and what we do for candidates is, number one, we educate potential candidates on how easy it is to get on the ballot in your state, right? So the first thing that's intimidating to a young person is, well, how the heck do you even get on a ballot, right? And in the state of Iowa, all you need is 50 signatures from people in your community, people in your district, to be able to get on the ballot to be a state representative. And that's similar for a lot of different states. And there's different nominating processes. There's different ways to get on the ballot in different states. But that's what we're here for. We're here for education. We're here to help you out. We're here to assist you on how to get on the ballot. The second thing we're going to do after you get on the ballot, after you make that initial step to actually be the candidate, then we're going to mentor you. We're going to set you up with a state representative who is around your age, who's already been there and done that, who's already made those mistakes and can teach you what mistakes not to make, but more importantly, what your road to victory is. And so those are the two most crucial things we're going to do, is be able to educate you on how to get on the ballot, but after you get on the ballot and become a candidate, be able to mentor you to help you be successful. Yeah, so we have 4 other state representatives from across the country that are involved in Run Gen Z. And so that would be Amber Mariano, Josie Tomkow, who are both from Florida, Caleb Hanna, who's from West Virginia, and Joe Alexander, who's from New Hampshire. So Amber and Joe I knew from past conferences last year in 2019 and met them and built a friendship with them. So when I reached out to them about the vision and the mission of Run Gen Z, they were more than happy to come on board. And Josie and Caleb were more kind of cold calls. I knew that they were legislators under 25 that were in Generation Z, and they were more than happy to come on too. And so the 5 of us are completely ecstatic about what's going on, and we're very optimistic about what Run Gen Z is going to do and what we can do together. So I absolutely believe that if you're sitting at home right now and you've had any interest at all, or you just had a thought of what can I do to help conservatives out here in America, to be able to help reach out to the youth vote, to run for office. And so whether that's city council, whether that's the school board, whether that's the state legislator, we're here to help you. We're here to give you those tools, to give you the resources to be able to be successful as an 18-year-old, as a 20-year-old, as a 22-year-old, to be able to fulfill that dream. And so that's what we're here for. That's why you should be involved in Run Gen Z. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. We really appreciate your time. And if you want to learn more about Run Gen Z, please go to our Facebook page at Run Gen Z, our Twitter page at Run Gen Z, or email us at info@rungenz.com, or visit our website at www.rungenz.com and fill out our candidate form so we can get to know you better. So hope to see you guys soon and talk to you later.